Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Len Dorman, the host of the Southern Fried Paranormal podcast. We have had a previous series so far of having guests that will be going to the New Orleans Paracon, who I don't know, it's my name that gets cussed every time Christopher Talley writes a check. Because he would say, this is all my fault. So I'm owning it. It's my fault. Sorry. But we're going coming in and bring our guest in just a minute. He will be at the New Orleans Paracon. And we're going to be talking about that along with a bunch of standby voodoo. Yes. Voodoo. But let me tell you a little bit about him first. He's locally known as Papa Zaar, published author, Voodoo Priest, and founder of the New Orleans Vampire Association. As a master reader and spiritual worker, Voodoo Authentica of New Orleans Cultural Center and Collection, he calls upon his deep connection with the dead to bring comfort and insight to clients from around the world on a daily basis. That is going to be our guest tonight. Gwen, let's go ahead and open the door on this show. All right, that is, without further ado, let's bring out our special guest, Papa Zaar himself from New Orleans.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
I am doing just great, Papa. How are you doing?
Like every good vampire, I'm out here in the night air on the front porch watching people pass.
Okay. Are you in the French Quarter?
No, no, no. Ooh, please no. Please no. I live about a mile away from the French Quarter.
Okay. Cool. Close enough to smell it, though.
I think everywhere in New Orleans is close enough to smell it.
Are you
But
looking
all that
forward to...
anticipation and partying and fun? Yeah. Everywhere
yeah.
in New Orleans close enough to smell it.
Oh, yes. The street gravy.
Classified life form street gravy.
Yes.
That'll always be around.
Always. As long as there's a New Orleans, you're going to have street gravy.
Yeah. Never wear open-toed shoes on Bourbon Street, peoples. Never. Never.
Chris and I have been talking about this since we started last spring, talking about this Paracon. about how no open shoes and no
No
bare,
open shoes.
especially. But every day you see somebody down there barefoot.
Especially in Jackson Square. No. No.
Too many mules and horses walk down for me.
Well, there's also a little known thing. Marie Laveau cursed the city in 3 ways, and all 3 of them were to bring people back to the city. And one of them is to walk barefoot through Jackson Square.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, watch where you walk barefoot around here.
Would you like to talk a little bit about yourself? Because I am not familiar with you at all. And I'm not that familiar with voodoo.
Finally. Okay, no. Usually people researched me. All right. So first and foremost, let me get this out there in the open. My physicality and my spirituality are 2 separate parts of me. My physicality, I am a sanguine vampire, means I am a blood drinker. My spirituality, I am a voodoo priest. Traditionally speaking, I am a New Orleans traditional voodoo priest. So, yeah, I've got 2 books out. One of them is just on basic protection spells, shielding techniques, and magical wards. And the other one is about my path in voodoo.
Okay, where are these books available?
You can find them on Amazon.com. You can find them at Voodoo Authentica, which is in the French Quarter. For those of you coming to the French Quarter, you can find them. I think there's a couple other shops and stores that carry them now.
Will you be having some at the con?
I'm going to try to have some at the con, yes.
Because that will be cool to get an autographed book from you.
I'm going to try to have some at the con, yes.
All right. Now, you're supposed to have some kind of opening ceremony at the start of the New Orleans Paracon. Can you give us just a hint?
Well, it will be, that would be Brandy Kelly's domain. She's the one setting it up. She's the one going to have all of us there for the opening ceremony. Different priests and priestesses from Voodoo Authentica that all work with us. So it's going to be probably standard opening ceremony. We'll open the gates to spirits like Ilegua, Papa Legba, Ishu, Exu. These are just different gateway spirits from the voodoo traditions. We're also going to call on spirits to help protect. So you might hear us sing to somebody like Dambala or Ogun. You might also hear us call on Oya for change and transition, just to kind of keep things running. But yeah, lots of good stuff.
Is there going to be a problem if people are taking video of you doing this?
No, people take video of us when we do our annual Voodoo Fest right out in the middle of Dumaine.
All right. I just wanted to be sure. Because you know that's going to happen.
Yeah. Every year for Halloween, we put on a 1-day ceremony that's all information. We have speakers, we have musicians, and then we end in a full ritual right in the middle of the road. There's always people filming that. So,
are you going to be back on my show on the 30th?
I don't know.
When I have all of Voodoo Authentica on here, supposedly.
Possibly. Just depends on what's said, when said, and what I'm doing.
All right, that's going to be Thursday before the Paracon, 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I will be there. I'm not going to be here.
You're going to be at the shop?
I'm going to be at the hotel.
At the hotel. Okay.
So you can pass on to the rest of Voodoo Authentica that what I'd like to do is get together with everybody that's going to be there that wants to be on the show, doing it live at the hotel.
Ah,
All of us sitting together and do it in a space where anybody who's staying in the room block that Christopher Talley got, and they got a room through Christopher Talley, can come in front with a live audience.
oh, that would be fun.
I think it would be mega fun. This is the first time Gwen's heard of this, and she's probably in her little room at home with her mouth hanging open saying, "Oh my God, what kind of check is Len writing for my account?"
You done put her on spot.
Yes. We're going to be using her internet and throwing it up live like we are this show. Except we're going to do it live with a studio audience.
Very good.
With me sitting right in front of you saying, "Hello, I'm here." Now, to the people who don't know much about voodoo, like me, I'm not a practitioner. I know nothing. Can you tell us a little bit about the history and how you got started in this?
Ooh. History, basic history of voodoo in New Orleans. 1718, we were founded. 1719, the first two ships directly from Africa hit our shores. With them came the Orisha. 1784 to 1804, when the Haitian Revolution took place, the city of New Orleans expanded by 10,000 Haitians, and with them came the Loire. It was reputed to be the original Dr. John, teacher of Marie Laveau, who incorporated the two systems to create what is now colloquially known as New Orleans voodoo. So you have an African tradition, you have Haitian tradition, you have Catholicism, and you have indigenous practices all thrown together to create a whole working system.
And it works.
That's a basic history. Yeah, it works.
And how did you get into it, and how do you approach this voodoo?
Let's see. The long and the short of it. Working in a church, my turn to preach. Interracial couple came in. Head priest was a bigot, so he snatched my sermon out of my hand. He said, "Here, preach on this." I looked at the first line, and it was, "The Tower of Babel teaches us." And I knew he was aiming that sermon at the interracial couple that had came in. And my filter not being so good back then, I said, "I can't do this shit no more," and walked out. Now, please understand, where I lived at the time is in Howard County, Indiana, where I was also in the church. However, 20 miles from my hometown is a little town called Peru, Indiana.
Okay.
Peru, Indiana is the north central capital for the KKK.
Mm-hmm.
So envision, if you will, whitish looking dude wearing white robes coming out of a cornfield, bumping into a African American woman dancing around a bonfire with a dead chicken in one hand and a doll wrapped in blue in the other. All right.
You're painting a very interesting portrait here.
She stopped. She looked at me. I guess she took a better look because she saw my raiments, my little stash with all my holy symbols on it. And she went back to doing what she was doing. I sat down. I started asking some questions. Things closed down for me in Indiana, but they opened up here in New Orleans. So I was like, okay, I can go learn about this stuff a little better. Where better to learn about it than one of the places it was created? Well, I got here, and all of the colleges here had very homogenized information, or as my first godmother used to call it, colonized information. Uh, the only real information I found at the time was I did a trip out to California, went to Berkeley. In their library, they have some really good information about voodoo. Found a spirit I sort of identified with. The spirit's name was Baron Samedi. Came back here, knew that the tradition honored ancestors, so I built an ancestral altar. Then I had an altar to Baron Samedi. Okay, now please bear in mind, back before I learned proper way, spirits introduce themselves the way spirits introduce themselves in voodoo. Some people bump into the spirits first before bumping into actual voodoo. But I was doing my own thing for a whole year. And then I'm doing a reading in Jackson Square. And this woman sitting across from me, watching me finish up this reading. And then she comes stomping over, little woman about 5'3", comes stomping over. She said, "Your daddy done told me I got to teach you the right way now." I was like, "I don't know who you're talking to. I ain't spoke to my dad in a few years." She said, "Not that daddy."
Oh.
And things just sort of clicked. So that became my first godmother in traditions. Later on, after doing my own thing for a while, it's 2007, and I'm approached by two individuals. One of them, Mambo Brandy Kelly. The other one is Dr. Glover, who became one of my direct teachers. They asked me to do something for Lundi Gras 2007. And I've been a part of the Voodoo Authentica family ever since then.
Wow. And you were in California at the time when you started learning about this?
I was here. No, okay. I was here. I went to California for a trip. And that's where I found the information. Then I came back here.
That just going to California to learn information about voodoo just does not sound normal. I don't know. Is there a voodoo, or is that just where the information was? Or is voodoo a little bit going on in California?
You'll find voodoo throughout the United States in several places.
Really?
Oakland has a really big community.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oakland was where Louisa Teese, she's the author of a book called Jambalaya. I suggest if anybody wants a Voodoo 101, they pick up that book. But she was in Oakland. So there's voodoo throughout the United States. Everywhere you find a big Cuban community, big Haitian community, Jamaicans, anybody that's coming from the Caribbean corridor, if you find a large community of them, not to mention all of the Latin American countries that carry a form of voodoo in them. So that's why you'll find a lot of botanicas around. So all of these little traditions that just cropped up because of the slave trade coming through the Caribbean corridor.
Hey guys, Zaar, do you mind if I show your books?
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to make sure these are the correct ones. I just went and got them off of Amazon, but I there you go. Is that one?
That's Voodoo Through My Eyes. That is my book on my tradition of voodoo.
All right, and then
that is Beneath the Sheltering Oak. That's book of shielding techniques, magical protections, magical wards. It's for anybody to learn to protect themselves magically.
Okay, well, I'm going to pop back off, but I wanted to show them. If you would like me to pull them back up, just say so and I'll hear you, okay?
Okay. Gwen,
yes.
Go ahead and pop up the picture of me and Gail that you did.
Okay, yeah, this is our little caricature type thing.
Papa Zaar, you were talking about a mixed race couple?
There you go.
Here we are.
Well, good.
So Gail will be at the Paracon, and you will meet her.
Good. Looking forward to it. Now, one of the things I kind of stray away from nowadays is I don't use the term racism. I call it epidermism. Because if you're honest about everything, we're not judging people based on race. We're judging people based on color of the skin.
Right.
So,
How much melatonin you have.
yep.
And that's about what
And
everybody's
it's sad.
doing.
It's sad. It's stupid. Some of the most loving people I've met were people like Mama Lola, my original godmother in Haitian Voodoo, Mambo Maggie, her daughter, who is now my godmother in Haitian Voodoo, um, Mambo Marsha, her granddaughter. So all of these people just kind of like adopted me and showed me true love and respect. So yeah, I call it like it is now. It's not racism, it's epidermism.
Aha. Now, you're going to have a table inside, correct?
I am going to be there and I am going to be offering readings to anybody who would like a reading.
All right. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly what people should be expecting of you. You'll have some books that you'll be happy to autograph.
I'm going to try to have some books. I'm going to take some time and make my own gris-gris. Gris-gris are little charm bags that you carry with you. They're going to be blessed for protection, especially since some of these people going to be new going into like paranormal stuff. You know, it's okay to visit the spirits, to play with the spirits, to talk to the spirits, but don't try to take the spirits home with you.
Exactly.
Just saying.
That's not fun. Having
It
had an
depends on
encounter
how.
before,
It depends on how you invite them.
right. I've had spirits follow me home. I've had attachments from a prostitute who died in the 1920s.
Oh, those are fun.
Oh yeah, got that in Chicago. You don't know much about me at all. I lived in Chicago for 14 years. The wife is a native Chicagoan, but her family is from down here in Southeast Arkansas, which means they originally came up from Louisiana. A lot of her relatives are still in Louisiana.
I actually found out that I've had some relatives buried down here in New Orleans.
Really?
So I got a root down here somewhere.
Yep.
I haven't found the living side, but found some of the dead.
You got roots. Now, Nicole had a question. She says, what if your art is so bright, why they tend to follow me? She said, but she's used to it.
All right. If spirits are tending to follow a person, it's because they sense something safe about the person or something unfinished about the person.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to be a safe space for spirits. I mean, after all, they do help me with my readings. They help me with the way I connect to people when they need something from me, like a gris-gris or a special oil or anything of that nature. So,
all right. Christy has just come into the chat room. She is
hello, Christy.
She is from Australia. Dananda.
Ooh. Lovely place. Too many damn spiders.
There's spiders down there that will eat you.
If they can catch me, let them. Maybe it got more than 2 legs and it's not associated with a spirit called a nonce. I'm running.
Now, Christian says they're harmless. I don't know anything in Australia that's completely harmless.
They're fun. I like, there's this one time of year where it's like everything gets covered in spider silk in a couple of areas. And I love the feel of it. It feels very haunted. It feels very, very homey for spirits. So I like seeing that, and I like the feel of that when I see the pictures.
Now, there are a lot of misgivings about Marie Laveau. Can you straighten out some of the
There's
BS?
a lot of stuff about Marie Laveau.
Okay, let's say a lot of bullshit about her. Can you straighten some of it out?
All right. First of all, there were more than one Marie Laveau.
True.
So you have Marie Laveau, who worked with Père Antoine, who was the priest at the Basilica, which is the church in we call St. Louis Cathedral. But she would go and she would minister to the sick, the poor, the dying, the imprisoned. Depending on which side of the slave trade you were on, she was either famous or infamous. If you were a slaver that she would buy slaves from, she was infamous. If you were one of the slaves she freed, she was famous. Marie Laveau made it so that we could practice openly. We didn't have to hide during the time where a lot of people were hunted down for that kind of stuff throughout the whole country. She never left. So what you saw on American Horror Story, Kevin, Davis, no. She was not a mambo. Mambo is the direct initiate of Haitian tradition. Marie Laveau did not leave New Orleans to initiate in Haiti. There are good books about Marie Laveau, one by Martha Ward, one by Carolyn Morrow Long, and there's even a more anthropological study of Marie Laveau done by one of my god sisters, Dr. Ina Fandrick. But yeah, there's a lot of real good information. And then you have books like by Robert Tallant, who write historical fiction that have nothing to do with Marie Laveau.
Gotcha. So if anybody wants to go back and slow this video down, that's a lot of reference material you can go read. So I appreciate that information. Nicole had a question. Are voodoo and vampires about the same thing, I guess, or something different?
No. Remember what I said at the start of this. My spirituality and my physicality are two different things. The only place that voodoo and vampirism traditionally meet, right here in me.
That's just you, and you are unique.
I think I am the only actual vampire that's an initiate in a tradition of voodoo. So
okay. She said thanks.
But
she appreciates you answering that question. Thank you
my
very much.
vampirism is sanguine. Again, I am a blood drinker. I have multiple donors. I do not go trolloping around trying to scare people. It's just not my style. I'm more into comfort. So you'll probably see me in jeans, cargo pants, or t-shirts mostly. So yeah, I'm not chasing nobody.
All right. Is this the first Paracon you've done, or have you done Paracons before?
This will actually be my first Paracon where I'm taking the whole time to be at the Paracon.
Hmm.
So I decided I was going to take that whole weekend off and just be available. I wanted to enjoy some time with people who shared my interest in paranormal activities. I'm kind of an amateur when it comes to this sort of thing, but I've been to several places. I've even worked with Chris and Jen um, to do some spotting and come up with some situations. So yeah,
Okay, here's Nicole back. She would love to interview you on her show and is welcoming me back also. So you may be hearing from Nicole Gaspard about appearing on her show. She's a
well,
good host.
Nicole, talk to Gwen. Gwen, you have my permission to give her my contact. Okay.
So there you go, Nicole. You're set up. And call me after the Paracon, Nicole, and I'll see about appearing on your show. Also, as I'll be having a lot to talk about what happened during the Paracon.
I will let you know the last 2 weeks of October and the first solid week of November. You won't get me.
Halloween,
Everything,
what else are
every
you doing?
let's see. I will be at a ball called Dark Gift Alliance, which is a vampire ball here in New Orleans. I suggest if people want, check for ticket. Okay, come see how the vampires party. But there's also other parties like the Anne Rice Ball, the Endless Nights Ball. These are just different vampire balls that are just located here in New Orleans. Uh, but also, my tradition of voodoo, we kind of incorporated Diez de los Muertos into our tradition because we do have a lot of, um, since I became a priest, we do have a lot of uh, Hispanic people that have joined my particular house. So we incorporated some of their traditions to help them feel more at home when we're dealing with the dead. So we have our Fet Gere, and then um, we go into Dias de los Muertos. We do the whole All Saints and All Saints Eve and all of it.
All right. Is there anything special you do on Halloween and, of course, November
Yeah,
1st and 2nd? Can you explain that, please?
Halloween Day, you will find me at one location and one location no matter when Halloween falls. I will be at Voodoo Authentica at 612 Domain as part of Voodoo Fest, which is our annual celebration of all things voodoo. We have speakers. We've had like Louisa Tish, we call her Yaya. That's her priesthood title. Um, we've had Priestess Ava K. Jones, Mambo Maggie. Um, we've had Mama Lola in the past, Dr. Glover in the past. So we have a lot of people that will come just to talk about voodoo and how it kind of developed throughout the country. Um, we also uh, have one of my very favorite people come in. His name is Bruce Sunpai Barnes, and he talks about how music was influenced here in Louisiana through the slave trade, and he does some of his own work. Um, but yeah, it's a high o time. We even have food. So if you're in New Orleans for Halloween, come there. Runs
Because I have
from
my
about
own tradition. Hmm?
runs from about 1 in the afternoon till about 8:30 when Spirit says, "Okay, you guys can go home now."
On Halloween, I usually go in for every, trick or treat and whatever. Then on November 1st, there's a small, not visited cemetery right down the road. and I go put flowers on all the graves.
Very good tradition.
And
I'll go on November 1st, 2nd, and sometimes the 3rd. I'll go and I'll pick a grave and I'll clean it. We have a very good organization down here called Save Our Cemeteries. They go in, and for those that haven't been tended in a while, they'll go in and try to clean up the stuff and help out.
and then on the 2nd, to close it out, I will do I just turn on some of my equipment so I can hear the spirits, and have a bonfire out in the yard. Welcome the spirits
Yes,
in to
very
come
good.
gather around the bonfire, and we can talk.
I got a couple of apps that I listen to, just to kind of check out where the spirits are around me. But it's kind of funny. I don't know if you know him. There's a gentleman named Howard Petrie down here.
Yes, I know Howard.
Yeah, well, he did a little something at Voodoo Authentica one time, and everything was kind of going slow. And I said, "Here, let me light this up." And I went over to our Gede altar in Voodoo Authentica, and I did a little offering to the Gede. Now, my tradition of Voodoo Gede is two things. Capital GHEDE is the spirits that guard out for the dead, but lowercase GHEDE is the spirits themselves, the dead themselves. So I went over to the Gede altar. I did a little libation, and one thing led to another, and it's like everything lit up. Spirits like to be invited in if you're looking for them.
Yes, and a lot of people don't want to ghost hunt in their homes, but I have another show I do by myself where I'll open up a communications portal live, and let's see what happens. And if I do it often enough, I have just a few spirits that will come in almost every time I do it. One
I
woman
got
said
one
she
that
was
cusses like a sailor with a little bit of construction undertones. Yeah. So yeah, I've got like 3 different children that roam through my house. I have a couple of spirits that I invited back with me because people were trying to displace them. But yeah, I invited them in. They've become protectors of my home, and I enjoy it. I sleep a lot safer now than I did 20 odd years ago.
I ask them to stay away from the bedroom because a lot of times the wife is sleeping by this time, and I ask them to stay away from them. I have one who wants to get a little frisky. If I go, I'm usually here in the den. If I go into the living room, she'll come up and she'll try to caress me, and I hear smoochy noises coming over the speaker.
I got one I call my bathroom bandit.
What does he do?
Generally, if somebody has a habit of pissing me off, he does things like flood their bathrooms. I kid you not. The spirit, since I picked him up, has become so protective of me that if people mess with me, he will go and screw their bathroom stuff.
Stuff up the toilet.
and I keep telling him, don't do that. But, when they get protective, that's on them.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. Of course, that can be shitty.
I heard that.
Of course, Gwen's going to have a heart attack now. We keep cursing.
That's why I've been at a minimum.
Sometimes about one too many, and a disclaimer pops up. Amazing. I was just getting into
Thank you.
Gwen,
Thank you to the gods of technology for the disclaimer.
yes, Gwen and I kid each other, but more often than not, we're on the same page. I was just about to talk about the this morning, and she pops it up.
Yep.
Gwen's a great producer. We have a lot of fun. I kid her a lot, but she's one of the best around, and she just proved my point.
I will tell you. First time I've ever spoke to her, and she's been amazing. So kudos to Gwen. So anybody got more questions on vampires and vampirism?
I was about to say this the blood drinking. We're going to kind of change. You were talking about voodoo, and now we're going to talk about your vampirism.
Okay.
Would you care to explain a little bit about that?
All right. Now, vampires have been a part of mythos. You can find them in every mythos on the face of the planet. There's a form of vampire in every tradition. Every. I am a sanguine vampire. It means I get my primary nutrition through blood when it comes to that. Yes, folks, I still have to eat regular food too. All right. But to define what a vampire is, we should define what vampirism is. Vampirism is a physiological condition wherein the afflicted, for lack of a better word, person is unable to produce enough of or any at all of daily essential energies, even if they're doing everything right, eating healthy, living right, they still don't produce enough energy to really get through daily functions. So it all comes down to the need in the vampire. My need is more physical in nature, thus the blood. But thank God, just did a television show called Rob and Ramesh, which should be coming out soonish. Haven't heard from them yet, but should be coming out soonish. And after 30 years of pushing, I finally got them to focus on uh, psychic vampirism, how psychic vampires feed. Because trust me, there's 30 odd years of video and interviews with me talking about blood drinking, but there's very few that focus on the psychic vampirism. There's books about it, but no TV shows really invested in it. So we finally got a show to actually invest time and quality on psychic vampirism. And it's Robin Ramesh versus. It's a little British show. So check it out when it comes out. If anybody knows of the show. But as far as my personal feeds, I have at this time 4 active donors. Donors are people that, for whatever reason, nature has blessed with an abundance of energy that will seek out vampires. And most of mine, like, I was doing laundry one day when I hooked up with one of them. He saw me answering some emails while I was at the laundromat just doing basic laundry because, clothes. But yeah, he started asking questions. One thing led to another. And after about 6 months of getting to know him, he said he wanted to be one of my donors. So he's one of my donors. And about every 3 months, just to be on the safe side, myself and all my donors get tested. It's a trust thing. So we keep that going. But beyond that, it's all about the need.
There is going to be a kind of a vampire head there. I was wondering what you thought about Father Sebastian.
He's one of the heads, but there's multiple heads. He's
Okay.
not the only one. Like I'm the most easily found vampire in New Orleans, and I make myself readily available. However, Sebastian has been around for a while, so what can I say about the man? He throws a good party. He's got some good books out there, but his particular group, his sphere of influence in the vampire community is generally relegated to those people that follow his path. But not everybody in the vampire community follows that path. Like not everybody in the vampire community follows this code of ethics called the Black Veil. My own personal house has its own code of ethics. My house is called the House of Mystic Echoes because every one of us have some form of magic that we do. But it's all about who your people are. I'll be on the panel with Father Sebastian talking about vampirism. But again, his traditions, his works are his. My works are mine. You'll get to see your perceptions from two different vampires. And it's not that we disagree. It's just our point of views are different. So there's some of the things we do that are just absolutely not connected.
Well, I've been around fans of other things other than voodoo and vampires and the paranormal. And you've always got those people who get along just fine, but their points of view are slightly different. And it's, I like the fact you brought up the two of you get along and are going to be on a panel together. That kind of gives me a warm feeling about both of you.
There's even going to be another person that's a part of the vampire community that's going to be on that panel. And we have different views, but we get along great. I'm sending people to her shops all the time. So, I think where people get it wrong is we may have heated discussions. We may have different points of view. But the adults in us the adults in our community are actually going to sit down and continue to share their point of view, whether they agree or disagree.
All right.
And like every community, you have those members that just don't want to play adult.
I've seen that quite often.
And I've seen it in every community I've ever been a part of.
Gwen, since we were talking about Father Sebastian, can you go ahead and throw up the bat video real quick?
夜明けが迫り来る招かされ感情真空の逆流に私は酔いしれた心臓から
Flip, flip, flap, flap.
That is just a cute little promotional fun video I put together. Talking about
Very
the
nice.
vampires down in New Orleans. Because I'm in the paranormal, I approach it this way. Two different ways, actually. You've got to have a little bit of showmanship. You can be serious on an investigation, but you got to have a little bit of showmanship to keep people's interest. You got to be real, but you got to entertain.
That's anything nowadays.
Mm-hmm. If you're out in front of the public, you got to entertain the public because that's what they're looking for. Entertainment per dollar impact. They want. If I spend $1, I want $1 worth of entertainment. And it's just the way I kind of look at it. It's fun. If you're not having fun in the paranormal, you're doing it wrong.
I'm just kind of entertained to see how many spooks we're going to have show up. So many people combined energy that are looking for paranormal. There's going to be something. There's going to be something.
I think there's going to be a lot of things going on. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to be come out of there a little bit surprised, a little bit shocked. I don't know what they're going to be expecting, but I believe New Orleans is going to turn out for them.
Yep. New Orleans has a habit of turning out for pretty much anything.
And by the way, a lot of the ghost hunts will be on this network live.
Very good. Very good. Y'all out there, pay attention.
Now, are you going to be working with any of the ghost hunts, or are you just going to come in with Voodoo Authentica and you're in the vampire panel?
I don't know. I'd like to. I haven't talked with Chris or Jen about that yet. I'd like to. Simply because it's just one of those things. Something I'm interested in, something I've always been interested in. I've recognized from an early age, I've believed that spirits existed, and nobody, not even seminary, was able to take that out of me. So, you know.
Yeah, I run into that a lot here up here in Arkansas. They flat don't believe in ghosts.
And yet they still do what Mama and Papa used to do. Mm-hmm.
One of the first things I did when I got here, I talked to somebody at the courthouse, and we wasn't even unpacked from moving from Chicago yet. And I was doing an investigation of the local courthouse. I live outside Star City, which is the county seat. My air conditioner just popped on, so now my hair is all over the place. And come to find out, there was a crime committed 25 years before Star City was incorporated. And a man stole some horses and cattle out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Came down here because there's a big creek and a bayou that run together. So he had plenty of water, plenty of grasses to feed on. So he came here about 25, 30 miles south of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and got caught. The guy, of course, followed all the tracks and hanged him here locally. And to this day, they are in the courthouse arguing. The guy who's cattle, the victim, he's saying this guy should have been hanged for being a horse and cattle thief. And the guy is mad at the victim, saying that he should have had his day in court. And to this day, they're in the courthouse looking for justice. Even though they're both dead, been dead years, they're both still looking for justice because there was no official trial.
That happens to lock in.
And I had about 15, 20 people coming in and watching me do this ghost hunt. But then nobody in this town believes in ghosts.
Like I said, and yet they still do what Mama and Papa used to do.
Mm-hmm. That's just a quick little story backing up what you just said.
So
I see it every day.
now, just for those of you who were wondering, I run an organization called the New Orleans Vampire Association.
Mm-hmm.
We set it up as a round table, so there's not really one specific leader. It depends on the projects and who runs what project. I'm the overhead for all of our homeless outreach projects. I deal with the homeless a lot. 3 times a year, I take food out to Jackson Square and I feed anybody who's homeless, hungry. I don't care if you're an artist. I don't care if you're look, I don't care if you're a musician, artist, tarot reader, homeless dude just walking through. We've had everybody from people in barely any clothes because they can't get clothes to 3-piece suits come through our lines and eat. We feed anybody who's hungry. But it started off with just the homeless. I started that in 2005. This year makes 21 years of me doing them. But it's all donation run. So everything that comes through monetarily, we also got an Amazon list now, but it can all be found on the New Orleans Vampire Association.org website.
Gwen, can you show up Christy's last comment? There you go. That's an important saying right there.
What? I can't read that. It's too small.
It's humans like you the society needs more of. Bless you, mate, for all you do for all of those in need.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I originally started just as a way to honor my grandmother, and it just became a thing. So I'm going to continue to do it for as long as I can.
Well, you see, you're actually giving back, and I just want to publicly thank you for that.
Look, this city has done so much for me. So much for me. It helped me find a path. It helped me find a purpose. This city, much like cities like Savannah, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, even Tallahassee, Casadega, all of these cities have a very unique spirit in and of themselves. But this is one of the few cities that's truly run on reciprocity. So if it gives, give back.
And that's what Christy just said. Honoring our ancestors is what we all should do, paying it forward. Exactly. And
Very much so.
That's what I try to do on November 1st and 2nd of every year. Is try to honor the ancestors, because what I look at on November 1st, I visit them, the spirits, by going to the cemetery, cleaning it up a little bit, putting some flowers on the graves. And then on the 2nd, I invite them to usually go outside into my yard and have a nice little bonfire. And everybody feels comfortable sitting around, standing around a fire.
Yep.
And welcoming them. It's just kind of a communal thing. And they usually end up in a pretty good conversation. That show on November 2nd every year is a lot of fun, even though it's one of the things that drives Gwen a little bit crazy, is I have all these special shows. I like to do a special show on the anniversary of Bonnie and Clyde getting shot. I got an anniversary coming up this month on the 22nd is the anniversary of John Dillinger getting shot. And I showed some videos of a actual show that Richard Crow put on in Chicago. They're in front of the Biograph Theater and going to the alleyway where Dillinger was shot. And then, of course, I have to explain a little bit what I like to do on November 1st and 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of glad to meet a little bit of a kindred spirit that tries to make friends and do part of the good works in the paranormal, like yourself. But again, you like to have a little fun at it too.
Yep. Gotta have a little fun. Gotta have a little fun.
Got to.
And but spirits love good jokes just like anybody else. So
They used to be human.
I think that's why my bathroom bandit I get such a giggle out of.
Does he ever give you your name, or does he just want to remain anonymous?
His name's Carl.
Carl.
Yep. He was in Dallas, Texas. He was killed in the bathroom of his home by his girlfriend, who did go to jail for it, but she used a garden rake to
Oh, wow.
unalive him. So,
Girlfriends
so
can be dangerous.
when I see him as he died, not the nice little oogie boogie spirits that you see. No globes, no nothing like that. When I turn my ability up, I see them as they died, not.
That can be a little gory sometimes, I guess.
Yeah. Especially thanks, Chris, for letting me see the dude hanging in the closet. That was one of the things we worked on. And that was at the Marie Laveau house, just so you know.
Okay. Have you ever been to the voodoo shop where I guess our own very own veteran Terry Brown is going to be doing an investigation? Have you ever been there? Where Chris and Jennifer had their investigations.
You mean Bloody Mary's shop on Rampart, where Zach and Addie died? Well, where Addie died, Zach actually took his own life at the Omni Royal.
Right.
I refused to go there because I was friends with Zach and Addie. I helped get them food. I helped get them clothes when they needed it. So I don't deal with that at all.
Do they ever contact you, or is just kind of mutual?
Yeah. Oddly enough, still madly in love with each other. But after Hurricane Katrina, when Zach couldn't get his meds, and that's the big thing about a lot of disasters where people have died in the aftermath of the disaster. If you can't get the meds you were on and you died from that spirit's staying around for a while. I've heard of all these people trying to cross over Zach and Addie. They ain't going nowhere. So
they're there.
They're there. Every now and then you can kind of feel the cool spot out in front of Omni Royal where Zach killed himself. So
yeah, I've investigated there 3 times. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going in there. Letriana, of course, the CEO of this network, is allowing us complete access. So whatever she does there and whoever she contacts and whatever happens will be shown live. But it should be fun.
That's going to be fun.
Jeff Teflin says, Half of the Paranormal from Ohio was once a groundskeeper at the Bearler House in Ohio. So welcome to the show, Jeff. Thank you for watching. Now it's about, I don't know, we just topped out an hour. Would you let me have about a minute to go ahead and put up the video with the New Orleans Paracon?
Go for it.
Let her roll. Go in. Go in.
I'm going to take a drink of Sprite.
Take.
Give her a minute.
Oh, you're drinking Sprite.
Yep.
Sweet tea.
I got that upstairs.
Len, what were you asking me, honey? Because I heard you, but then it was echoing. What's up?
Go ahead and throw up the New Orleans Paracon video. It's a shortened one, and so just over a minute long. I got to hear the hit off on that one. And there we go.
That was a good one.
Oh, thanks. I just a little something I put together. I am not that great at doing videos. I'm learning. But learning it. By the way, I turned 70 last Friday. Is a slow process.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. So yeah, this gray hair has been earned over the years.
As has mine. I'm 61.
Well, wow. Oh, thank you, Nicole. What else do we need to cover? We got your books. They are available. Go ahead and throw the books back.
More questions on vampire. Again, Voodoo Through My Eyes is strictly about my tradition of voodoo. So it's a combination of African and Haitian traditions. So you'll get introduced to some of the common spirits that I deal with. Beneath the Sheltering Oak, protection spells, magic awards, shielding techniques, ways to protect yourselves, people, especially in the paranormal. Learn ways to protect yourself.
Okay. What is something we have not covered?
I don't know. So what are some things we have not covered?
Well, we covered your past. We counted the vampirism, how they're separate from the voodoo.
Very much so.
Where outside of your books, is there a movie or some person who pretty well has the idea of voodoo or vampirism? We'll cover them all correctly, or some that have it so incorrect that it's pathetic.
Oh my God. That's just about every vampire movie on the face of the planet. Every vampire television series. yeah, you want to see what we act like around each other, then there are a few movies that show that. There's even a TV series. But if you're asking for accuracy about what vampirism is, no, you won't find it. There's nothing out there that really portrays what vampirism is. There was I can't remember if it's Jason or Jeremy London made for TV movie that comes close, but beyond that, no, I don't think there's anything that actually actively portrays us. But like I said, if you want to see how we act around each other, that's that lovely little series, What We Do in Shadows. That's pretty much how we all act around each other. There's a reason one of my very good friends coined the term vicar of vampires.
It seems like y'all have a lot of fun.
I think overall, what a lot of people don't understand is that once you awaken and once you come to terms with the fact that this is what I am, it does tend to lead to more enjoyment of self. So once I came to terms with the fact that, yeah, I am a vampire, and I awakened early. I started awakening at 11, and I was fully awakened by 13. Most vampires generally awaken later, like 16, 17, 18. So I was ahead of the game when that came up. But in all honesty, I didn't think, oh, great, superhero powers. No. For me, it was, oh, crap, something else that's going to set me aside from the rest of my family. Right around 11, I started noticing boys. I grew up around a very straight white Christian family, very Republican. So already heading into a different realm of things. Raised by a single mom. Most of my family was raised by two-parent households. So there was a lot of things that was different about me, and this was just one other thing. It didn't help that I was asking questions like, well, why don't you just call this prayer work magic when I was in the church as a kid? Because that's all it is. Light candles, say prayers, light incense. But it was just another thing that made me feel set apart. I didn't feel like I was a part of anything greater. I didn't feel connected to my family, which was very, very family oriented. You got cousins, uncles, aunts, grandma, grandpa, everybody lived close, everybody stayed close, but yet I was the outsider. And when I was included, it was, in all honesty, minimal at best. So
how long?
Another thing that set me apart.
How long did you say you've been in New Orleans?
Oh God. Originally, I moved down here about 39 years ago now.
Oh wow!
I've been back and forth a couple of times. I went back to Indiana to help my mom out a couple of times. Went to North Carolina to help my sister out one time, but I always came back here because this is where I felt at home. So even though there was some time away, this is where I would come back to. This was home. I didn't even leave for Hurricane Katrina.
You wrote it out
Hell yeah.
in the house you're in now.
No. I was in a 3-story apartment complex. My floor was the ground floor, but there was 2 other people who couldn't evacuate. I had pets, and they weren't letting pets go anywhere. And I didn't have a car. We have buses and streetcars here in New Orleans.
Right.
So everywhere I go was bus, streetcar, or now Uber.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let pets on buses for the evacuation, and the nearest evacuation center to me was 10 miles away. I was not walking in tropical storm force winds 10 miles to evacuate my butt. So me and 3 other people from the apartment complex kind of all piled up in one of the open, like somebody evacuated and took all their stuff with them. They've just left the apartment open, so we went upstairs and we stayed up there. Got to see the wind, got to see the rain, got to see the eye. So yeah.
The eye is freaky in a hurricane. If you've ever been in a hurricane, I wrote out 2 category 1s. Nothing like Katrina, but you still got that eye, and it's freaky in the eye.
Yep, it is. It is. It's like dead silent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
No
there's more
windows, no
noise.
nothing.
There's more noise in a graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I wrote it out. I survived. I was actually in Metairie, which is kind of like outskirts of New Orleans, but ended up even back then doing stuff like we started our own food drop at 18th and Edenmore, which is back in the area I was, which is a little area called Fat City. It was a wannabe Bourbon Street. So when I say you can smell Bourbon Street all over, that's why.
Exactly.
There's a couple of places like that. But my job came back. They came back with a whole freaking, like, they sent food, they sent clothes, they sent more food that I could use. So that Thanksgiving of 2005 was my first time taking food down to Jackson Square and feeding anybody. So, and a lot of us were just shell shocked, to be honest. People who had rode out the storm for one reason or another. One of the people, their job absolutely refused to close down.
Really?
Until it was way too late to evacuate.
That's not right.
No, there's a lot of places like that, though. This is the South. There's a lot of places like that.
Now, you different subject. You say you live just a little ways from the French Quarter. Does your house have any history? Like, when was it built?
The house is roughly, the original piece of the house is 100 years old. The new piece is only about 60 years old. So there was an extension to this house. I live in a what's called a shotgun style house, which is a traditional house here in New Orleans. But it's been added on to. So the ghosts from the original house, they don't sometimes realize that the house has been raised. So when it's one of the kids from that family, you'll see their little head bob through the floor. Fun. It's fun.
That could be a little bit disconcerting, I imagine.
Not to me. I'm used to seeing stuff like that. Now, my nephew, one of my nephews is on the spectrum, and he senses them, but he don't see them.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll look at me, and he'll go, "Who's here?" And he'll always walk into the bathroom and go, "Carl, leave." So he'll boot Carl out of the bathroom for a little while till he gets done.
That is a question I've heard asked on talk shows. When you're sitting on the toilet, what are you most afraid of?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
considering most men have their first heart attack on the toilet, straining. That's what I'm most afraid of. Straining. I keep reading material in the bathroom just for that.
I was always horrified of a rat being in the sewer system and managing to get up into the toilet.
Nah, that never bothered me. As long as it don't latch on, I'm fine.
Yeah, if it bites anything down there, there's going to be an issue.
Yeah. But I'm not afraid of rats or snakes or anything like that crawling up my sewer pipe. That never bothered me. Spiders. I've been bit by a few spiders a few times on toilet seats. That don't even bother me no more. But yeah, mine is straining. My fear is straining. So I try to make sure I don't. Now the fun part is, how do you know when the spirits leave the room?
Oh, well, what I do when I run Echo Box, when I ask them to leave at the end of the session, all of a sudden they'll be quiet. I'll sometimes say, "You must leave now." And I'll get, "Me too."
In my house, the temperature will raise a little bit.
Ah, okay.
When the spirits are around, the temperature drops a little bit. When the spirits are leaving, the spirits it will raise a little bit.
Now, about Voodoo Authentica.
One of my favorite topics.
All right, let's get into it. Where and when did y'all meet up, and how do you feel about working, and what do y'all do at the location?
All right, Voodoo Authentica is literally Voodoo Authentica Cultural Center and Collection. Okay?
Okay.
There's a reason. Everybody that works there practices a form of voodoo. We've had representations from Paolo, Haitian voodoo, old root work, conjure style, which you may as well consider an offshoot of voodoo anyway, because it was created through the African slave trade, just not where Catholicism reigned. Anywhere Catholicism reigned, a form of voodoo was created. So this was created where Protestantism and the slave trade reigned. Okay? Now, that being said, a lot of the stuff we do is in-house. We do readings, we do spiritual cleansing, we make gree-grees, we do candles, we have our own Brandy has come up with her own line of soaps and Orisha candles and wax melts, and We have a whole host of things. We have locally made dolls. They're all made by practitioners. We even have artwork from Haiti and Africa. Got to pay attention to those ancestors that created this. So that's why we have those representations in the house. We have active altars that people from around the world come and pray at. And we even have people that we refer people to for work if they need it. Voodoo doesn't call it casting spells, it's doing work. So everything's there for the practitioner. Everything you need, everything you want. Now we don't dip into some of the control stuff. Brandy is very, very no, that's not something we do. We don't control spirits, we don't control people. So everything in there is going to be beneficial. And to be honest, even the dolls are prayed over in such a way that you can't actually use them to harm anyone. So even our enemy be gone stuff, it is designed to either push away somebody peacefully or to make them a friend. Either way, in that case, the enemy is gone. I love working with somebody that's very ethical in their approach to voodoo.
Mm-hmm. And so I gather the other people who are working for Voodoo Authentica, you found kindred spirits.
Very much so. We may not all agree on practice because we're from different traditions, but the kindred spirit, the fact that that's my family, and I may argue with them, but God help the person that try to mess with them.
So you are family. You found a family. You got lucky enough to find a family.
I got lucky enough to find a family in voodoo. I found a family in vampirism. I found a family in practically every aspect of my world.
Well, this makes you a happy man.
For the most part, I am very happy. You know, I still have my struggles like everybody else. And the fact that anger is my go-to emotional state, I watch my tone. I try to watch my temper. But other than that, I do believe I am happy.
Yeah, I know the feeling because I found a family with Letriana and Gwen. And I kind of include, although he's a little bit more difficult, Christopher and Jennifer Talley.
I include them too. That's just because they are family. So, love me some Chris and Jen. Love me some Chris and Jen.
That back last spring when we first started talking about the New Orleans Paracon, we were talking. He was picking my brain a little bit. We stood out in front of the hotel I was staying at till 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's easy to do here.
5 o'clock before he went home.
That's easy to do here.
Yes. And he came by the next morning as we were packing out to leave, and we talked about Paracon the whole time. And when I came up here, it wasn't very long at all, where he called me up and said, "Len, I'm doing this," and started working in the New Orleans Paracon. I always thought it was a sin because New Orleans didn't have a big Paracon in town, and the French Quarter is just such a natural to have a paranormal con. I don't know why it wasn't done before.
Not only that, but New Orleans itself is at a crossroads.
Yes. Are you talking about spiritual wise or
talking about spiritual wise? We have a very distinct ley line set up here, and it's all crossroads.
I agree. When I was down there last spring, we went to Andrew Jackson, and I was just in there with a tour, And I was in, you've been to the Andrew Jackson before with Chris and Jennifer, hadn't you? I was in their closet, just opening my mind, had people there, so I was able to open my mind without worrying about it too much, and was just having an experience. And a kid was outside the room. He come up and asked Chris, "Who is Toby?" And Christopher said, I don't know. I've never heard a spirit named Toby. I said, okay, excuse me. He's one of mine. He was a friend I had in Columbus, Georgia, back before I moved to Chicago, that died about 3 years after I left Columbus, Georgia for Chicago. And that was actually his stage name. He was a DJ. His real name's George. But he come in as Toby to this kid. And that's why I agree with what you said about New Orleans being a crossroads. I compare it to Atlanta. In Georgia, they say that you can't die and get buried in the state of Georgia without going through Atlanta. And sometimes I think that's true for a lot of North America. You go through New Orleans sooner or later. It's you got the mighty Mississippi right there, which drains over 1/3 of the United States. And I think a lot of spirits do use it as a crossroads. Can you kind of go along with this?
I would agree with that. Specifically because anywhere where there's going to be a river that touches so many different states, you're going to have that kind of a flow. So I think very much so that spirits riding that river gonna sooner or later end up in New Orleans.
Do you ever go out on the river and just kind of open yourself up and get that and feel what's going through?
Often, I'm out at the river at least once a week, usually on Saturday before I go home. I leave the shop at 6 o'clock. I go out to the river for about a half hour to an hour, open myself up, and then I go home and I feed my boys.
It's interesting to get out there on one of the river boats and just chill, just kind of fall into a kind of semi-meditative state and just open yourself up. And that's an amazing thing. I'm trying to talk Thomas Patrick, who does a show earlier, but he's got the Connecticut Paracon. That's his baby. He's got to work on that right now. That's why he didn't have a show. He was coming down Friday. I'm trying to get him to come down Thursday, be there Thursday morning to take not on the Natchez, the other what is that? The Queen of New Orleans, the other riverboat that
Creole
goes down. That goes down to the battlefield, and you get to spend an hour or so there and come back with him. I'm trying to talk him into doing that. I think it'd be nice having him and Stacia with my wife and I, and maybe try to open ourselves up there on the riverboat in the middle of the river, especially close to the battlefield. I think it should be an interesting experience.
I think it'd be a very interesting experience. So don't forget, Jackson Square has got its own share of the dead.
Yes. And that could go into, if we do the show in front of a live audience, there's no telling what can happen. If I'm just a couple hours earlier, I'm on the river with Thomas Patrick, and we open ourselves up, and then all of a sudden come in and try and do a show with a live audience, and you got all that energy. I have no idea what's going to happen.
I still think it's going to be entertaining to see how many different, because of the spiritual nature of the people and what they're bringing with their own share of talent. I think we're going to see a lot of good activity.
All weekend.
Yep.
Well, is that what you think about telling the people that may still be on the sidelines looking in? You really think they should come down, and you think they'll have a great experience, something they will remember?
I think if you're sitting on the fence, my grandma would say, "Ain't nothing good about sitting on the fence. Bring yourself down here, see what you got to see what you got to feel." Because a lot of these sensitives forget that they will feel this. So they're coming down here open to see. They forget they got more than five senses. Just saying.
Feeling
And the
is
spirits
not just
around
like,
here, spirits around here do get active.
yes.
You'll have spirits that reach out, and because you got long hair, they'll just stroke your hair just to see what the hair feels like. You got spirits that'll poke at you to say, "Hey, I'm here." You got spirits that may tug on your shirt to let you know they right there. Come down. Be open to all of it. But be aware. Don't try to take our spirits home with you. They don't like that.
And don't try to run them off, and don't be mean to them.
I really love those people that sit there and go, "And I've cleansed this place." Sure.
Right.
3 months down the line, when the activity starts back up because all you did was block their entrance, yeah, that's fun. Because then the spirit's angry. I don't, but my spirits are free to come and go as they please. I invite displaced spirits in all the time. I have little things that I've picked up, like I picked up some stones from Abilene, Texas. I had to go do something in Abilene. It was filmed, and ended up bringing some stones home with me because one of the spirits was displaced and angry because they were displaced. So now that they have a home, they're fine. They're fine.
New Orleans is a magical place, very special place. And you're talking about on a crossroads. We don't know how long it's going to survive. Some geologists or world climatologists said it may not be here in 100 years.
Some people saying not here in 30.
Because if say the New Madrid fired off along with global warming, even on this
Well,
hill that I live on.
It's not just that. The whole Mississippi River is a fault line.
Yeah.
People forget that. And we've had earthquakes an hour above us and an hour below us. So, there's been earthquakes here in Louisiana. So the fault line's active, but, is what it is. I'll be here until the lights go out.
Yeah. Are you going? I'll assume you're going to be buried down there.
No, I'll be cremated. I want my ashes spread along the river.
Cool.
I want some of them planted in Jackson Square, but I want my ashes spread down the river.
Gail and I want to do the same thing, except instead of spreading on the river, we're just going to have our ashes spread here on our property. So we become part of the land, and we're always here. Because you knew
my sister passed 2 years ago, and she's in some water. We got her in a biodegradable, and put that out. And there's some wildflower, some natural Louisiana flower seeds that were incorporated into her urn. And as it degraded, flowers sprouted.
Interesting.
So I want some of my ashes spread. You can put me in an urn like that and bury me in Jackson Square. So
Jackson Square is a beautiful place.
it's where I've done a lot of rituals to calm spirits. Because believe it or not, Jackson Square was the central hub of the city for so long. It's where the slave trade was originally, slave auctions were originally there. Executions took place in Jackson Square. And even when the French and the Spanish bounced ownership back and forth, it's all because Jackson Square was that central hub. And a lot of people just don't realize how much energy is just there.
That's why a lot of people take pictures there. I think even the people who are not into the paranormal feel drawn there. And I think it's just the power and the energy that's there even attracts the so-called non-believers.
Yeah. I like how you said so-called.
I'm talking about these people who whistle as they walk by a cemetery.
I'm like the old Appalachians, never whistle at night. I ain't no way. Look, my ceiling, my ceiling above my porch is still Hank blue. Okay, so yeah, no. I'm like those old Appalachians. No, I don't mess. I don't whistle at night. Now, one of the fun things, well, couple of little things that I've personally experienced. We have a legend here about a person named Jacques Saint Germain. Okay, now here's the deal: Jacques Saint Germain, the legend, doesn't fully incorporate that he was a vampire. Okay, it's surmised or assumed because all his bottles of wine were filled with blood. However, there are times where it gets really foggy down here, and there will be people that talk about a man in a a trench coat that is around 5'3", 5'4", that will ask for a light, and he will say, "Nice knot for Jack." And if you look, he'll disappear. So, and I bumped into that energy, that spirit, that whatever you want to call it. I do not believe Jacques Saint Germain is dead. I think, in fact, that Jacques Saint Germain was actually the Comte Saint Germain. Look him up, people, from Europe.
Do they have anything in their street
They
name?
had one thing. They had one thing in common that these two people did. That these supposed two people did. They paid for everything in perfect gemstones, diamonds, rubies, emeralds. They never paid in cash. And they were never seen eating. They were always seen with a drink. It was said that Comte Saint Germain actually figured out the Philosopher's Stone. So,
in there a street there named Saint Germain? Is that named after them?
I believe there is a street named after the Comte Saint Germain, but what you need to be aware of is that his house is in the French Quarter. So
Okay.
that's the fun part. And it's right across the street from LaLaurie Mansion.
Oh.
So that's always fun. You got people that are out there telling people that the LaLaurie Mansion is a dead cell.
Mm-mm.
No, it's not. It is not a dead cell. So every now and then, people feel it, people see it, people hear it. So
How do you
if
feel
people are
about it?
still feeling, I feel, and I even got to do a little something over there with Jack Osborne and his crew. So that was fun while they did their little ghost hunt. So I got to do some things with that. That was fun. That was really fun and informative.
Have you been on any of the TV shows, paranormal TV shows?
Besides Jack Osborne's, I don't
Yes.
remember. I've done a lot of TV shows. So, but yeah.
Is Jack as fun as he seems on TV?
Oh my God, he's freaking. Jack Osborne is one of the most respectful people when approaching paranormal that I've ever met in my life. So by far, all of that humor and wit that he has when he approaches active scene, he's very much business oriented, treats the spirits with respect, treats the place with respect.
So he does it right.
He does it right. Not like a certain
That's
someone.
good to know because I did not know that. So I appreciate that piece of information. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Now, is there anything else we need to know? Something we haven't talked about yet about Voodoo Authentica?
No, come, feel the place. We like to maintain the altars. We like to maintain the presence. If you're a sensitive, be aware you will feel something when you walk in. And I'm talking about anybody sensitive. So if you are a sensitive, you will feel something when you walk in.
And what's the address to the place?
612 Rue du Maine, right in the heart of the French Quarter. We're literally a block off Jackson Square.
Wow. Now, let me ask you a personal question. And I've heard this about 50-50 debate. You've been down there, as you pointed out, about 30, 35 years, correct?
About 39, almost 40 now.
Your favorite restaurants to eat in New Orleans, are they on Bourbon Street or are they somewhere else?
Oh, hell no. I do not eat on Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street is for people who have no flavor taste after drinking. I do not eat on Bourbon Street. There are some good restaurants, don't get me wrong. It's just the flavor is not right.
Mm-hmm.
The flavor there is made for people who've blown their taste buds on alcohol. You want good food? Hit Mother's. Hit Vampire Cafe. That's my favorite place to eat currently. There's all kinds of places. A lot of the locals like to go to a place called Coops. You'll have Turtle Bay. You have Court of Two Sisters. These are some places I would suggest that if you really truly want to feel what it's like to eat in New Orleans, some of the places I would suggest.
One I was going to mention. What do you think of Oceana Grill? What in the tarnation?
I avoid it at all costs. The only
Okay.
real good thing that was there is the crawfish cream sauce. Um, Oceana used to be good when its sister restaurant was open, the Alpine. But there's been a lot of shift and a lot of changeover in management, so the food's really not the same anymore. About the only recipe that they still maintain is the crawfish cream sauce.
Okay. The reason I kind of said it explicitly there, it sounded like somebody was walking on my ceiling here, taking a
Probably,
few steps when I asked that question. Trouble is,
probably.
I've only got a crawl space, maybe 1.5 feet up there. This is a house. It's not 2 stories. And
Yeah, well,
somebody my
spirits
size can
don't
give me
have to
on a
deal with
hands and
that.
knees up here.
Spirits don't have to deal with that. They just
True.
walk through the roof.
So I think the spirit sounded like it landed on top of my ceiling here. A new place. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Luzana's, Liuzzas, Lounge and Grill.
Haven't tried it yet. Couldn't honestly tell you.
Okay. And how about Albertville Cuisine?
It's okay.
It's at 821 Albertville Street.
It's okay.
Because we're going to want to hit some of the nicer restaurants. We're not going to eat out. We're there for 8 nights. There's no way we eat out every night for lunch and supper. We run up a $2,000 eating tab.
I'm gonna tell you right now. There's a little store called Rouse's in the French Quarter. It's a little grocery store. Get you some little something, something. Make you some sandwiches.
There is a little grocery store that's been there for a lot of years. Over there, let me get the name of that hotel. Wow.
There's a few grocery stores actually in the French Quarter.
Yeah. This is actually in the French Quarter. It's very close to it's over there close to New Orleans and Hotel St. Pierre.
Hmm.
Is that what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, don't be afraid to hit you up these grocery stores. Get you a little something, something. Save the eating out for the big days. Save the eating out for when it feels special. But
St.
definitely
Pierre's
try the Vampire Cafe.
say that is a good place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Vampire Cafe is definitely a good place.
And where is that?
That's on the corner of St. Anne and Royal. And
That's right there in the corner.
right behind it on St. Anne is the Boutique de Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So make a stop there too.
So they're around the corner from each other, but they're actually back door to back door.
Back door to back door.
Okay, that's interesting. We appreciate that information because a lot of people watching the show are planning on coming to the Paracon. They may not have been down in New Orleans before.
Okay. If you're looking for vampire things to do, you got the Vampire Cafe, you got the Vampire Apothecary, you got Potions Bar, and then you have Boutique de Vampire. So they're all owned by Marita Crandall. Trust. Very good places to go. Okay. If you're looking for regular food, again, Vampire Cafe. You've got, dude, we even got a Popeyes just outside the French Quarter. So, all right. All of the McDonald's have shut down, just to let you know. There are no more McDonald's. The nearest McDonald's is going to be so far down Canal. Yeah, you may as well just take the streetcar there. But if you're looking for decent meals, you got Coop's Place, Turtle Bay. Again, Court of Two Sisters. These are some really good places to eat, have some decent food, and not so overpriced that you're going to feel like you're walking out without half your wallet.
How about Napoleon House?
I like Napoleon House for what it is. I go there about once, twice a year, but I do go there. If you're looking for like decent but not pricey, you got Johnny's Po' Boy. If you're looking for a true muffaletta, go to Central Grocery. That's where they were started. You may as well pick them up there.
And of course, everybody wants to pick up a beignet.
Ooh. Touristy, Cafe de Monde. Locally, Cafe Beignet.
Cafe beignet local. Okay. So I
A lot
gather
of the locals
you
go
like,
to Cafe Beignet.
you like Cafe beignet better.
Yep, I do. A little bit bigger, a little bit more flavor. So yeah, I like the Cafe Beignet ones better. But don't get me wrong, I will still stop at Cafe de Monde and I will get touristy beignet just like everybody else. I'll walk around with my little Cafe de Monde sack because every now and then you gotta be a tourist in your own hometown.
Who's got the best gumbo?
Ooh. Depends on the style of gumbo you want.
I like a good seafood gumbo.
I would go to the gumbo shop, not the gumbo pots. Two different places with the word gumbo in them. Cafe Maspero's has a good gumbo. So, Cafe Maspero's versus Pierre Maspero's. Two different restaurants, but Cafe Maspero's has the better.
And if somebody wants some crawdads, I personally do not care for the taste, but if they want some good
We don't
crawdads,
call them crawdad down here. You want to call them crawdad. You've been in the creek too much. Okay.
Yep.
If you really want to find good crawfish, you're gonna have to go to someplace like the French Market Cafe, where they do an actual boil right there in the. You can smell it when they do a their bowl. It's on the corner of St. Philip and Decatur. I will warn everybody coming. Got a lot of road construction, so you have to kind of duck around all these little fenced-in areas, but you can still get to all the shops, all the things. Just take your time. Don't trip up on the road construction.
Are they ever going to finish that road construction?
No. Look, they paved all the roads in the French Quarter for the Super Bowl. Then, as soon as the Super Bowl done, they went in and started digging up all the roads again. No, they're not going to be finished. Bureaucracy has that one. But I do like the fact that Helena Moreno's come in and straightened all of them out, though. So there's going to be a lot less. obstacles hopefully soon.
Oh, you said something about the Lord Mansion. Have you ever, you said you spent some time there, especially with Jack Osborne. Did you see or feel anything there?
Yes, that's why I said don't believe that. The people that are out there saying it's a dead cell, don't believe it. Do not. Mm-mm.
Because I was thinking, I stood out in front of it.
Even Jack said they found stuff. Now there's a couple of places that have been sealed off spiritually with selenite, but even they said they found stuff. So
I stood outside of it. I have not been inside of it, but it just gives me a chill just standing outside of it. There's something there.
of course, there's still dead bodies buried in that ground. Of course, there's something there.
And I'd advise people be careful opening yourselves up in that neighborhood. And
I would
again,
advise that as well. If you have apps on your phone, I'd rather open them up than open stuff up in that neighborhood.
yes, agreed. Because it's, I always got, I kind of want to brush myself off when I walk by the place.
Voodoo, we cup our hands and we push everything behind us. So there's some voodoo things I do when I go by the place. And if I have to go by the place, I'm usually traveling with some like Florida water as well. Kind of cleanse all that negative off of me because it still reads very negative to me.
Yes. Yes, and I do something similar, having never seen you talking about the voodoo, but that's kind of what I do. Kind of cut my hand, go down my arms, top of the head, maybe down the neck a little bit, just trying to brush that stuff off me.
It's good practice, especially for any of the energy workers out there.
All right. Would you believe we've been here for 2 hours and 4 minutes?
Yes.
So I appreciate you being on. Gwen's going to come in here. She's going to, she normally tries to cut it down after about 2 hours.
Okay.
But you're
I'm
a great
good for
guy.
that.
We have carried 2 hours of show, and that's more than I can ask of anybody. So I really do appreciate you coming on the
I
show.
hope people found it informative, and I hope they got as many giggles as I did. Because what's the good of living this life if you can't enjoy it?
Exactly. Does Voodoo Authentica have a website?
Yes. www.voodooshop, spelled the American way, VOODOOSHOP.com.
And where can people get your books? On Amazon and the usual places?
You can get it from Amazon.com. You can buy it from, I think one of my books is even being sold by Barnes and Nobles now. One of them is listed at Walmart, of all places. And you can get them through Voodoo Authentica.
And they can get them from you at the Paracon, your own Paracon, the very end of July, the 31st and August 1st and 2nd, where we will all be gathering our spirits and our personal energy and our personal bodies in New Orleans and spending time with each other. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too. Like I said, the first time I'm taking off the entire weekend for it.
And I'm very much looking forward to your opening ceremonies.
Very much looking forward to that too.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Anything else you want to say to everybody?
No. Well, one thing.
Okay.
First of all, 3 bad things. Vampires. Look, stick a stake in anything's heart, it's dead. Holy water gets me wet, does not hurt me. And garlic is great for the blood. So, okay.
It's also
And
good in spaghetti
also,
sauce.
if you want, you can go to New Orleans Vampire Association, spelled completely out.org, and hit that donate button. We could use all the donations we could get, babes.
All right. Well, like I said, I really appreciate you coming on. Appreciate your last thoughts there. Anything else?
Nope. I wish everybody a beautiful evening.
All right.
I
Now,
can
if you
see
want,
stars out here.
all right. Now, if you want to hang around a little bit, Gwen and I'll probably do some chit chat after the show. Just don't leave the room.
Okay.
Yeah. And Gwen, if you want to come in here, if you got any questions or you want to go ahead and wind her up, I think 2 hours is long enough. Speak of the devil, she usually pops up.
Hi, Len.
Oh, wait a minute. Gwen grew a mustache.
That's not a Gwen.
Hey guys, I
Hello.
had to go to the potty. I sat there for 2 hours going, I gotta go.
I was messing with Len for a second because he was like, Gwen, we're going to close out. And I'm just sitting there for a second. I'm messing with him. And then I popped it up because he said, something about the devil. And I popped in.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, it's been 2 hours, so I think we need to end it, even though it's been good. So.
Well, there's something we got to say to Len, too. Happy belated birthday.
We boo-booed.
Thank you.
We boo-booed, and belated happy birthday. And I'm sorry. I usually try to keep on top of it, but the heat has been draining me so bad. It's been rough.
I understand. All right.
Happy birthday.
If everybody wants to hang around, we'll hang around as long as Gwen wants to. And I think it's been a fun show. But I think we need to go ahead and shut her down. I got the ending video already loaded up right here below me.
All right. Here we go.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.